You just got rejected from your top choice and you want to appeal that decision. Appeals are the most difficult part of the admissions process. My name is Evan Forster, and I'm the co-founder of Forster-Thomas Educational and Career Consulting. And today we're going to talk about appeals, how hard it is, and how to take it on if that's what you decide to do. Appeals for college, when you've been rejected, it's like a legal appeal. It's almost impossible. And without new information or something fresh or some mistake that happened, it's going to almost be a lost cause. So you have to dig down deep and make sure that this is not about anger or about sadness due to rejection. Because as my good friend, Ann Fleming Brown, the director of admissions at Union College, explains, an appeal is very often an opportunity to be rejected a second time. Do you really want that? So I want you to think about it. And if you decide you're going to do it anyway, well then let's get to work and figure out how you have to go about it. The first thing that you have to do is figure out why you were rejected. And that requires calling the admissions office, getting in touch with whoever your regional rep is, or speaking to somebody in the office who can explain to you what you could have done to present a stronger application. For example, was your academic record weak? Did you take appropriately challenging courses? Were your standardized test scores at minimum in the mid-range for the school that you're so desperately wanting to be a part of? And finally, you got to find out if financial aid had anything to do with it. It's possible that you were not qualified for that school's financial aid. Still, you should think about the appeal, because this is going to be a really tough road. So what you want to ask yourself is, what's happened lately? Like, did you win second place in the Westinghouse Award, or did your grades suddenly shoot up? And if that happened and all of the emotional craziness is gone, then I think you have a reason to appeal. So here are 5 things that you're going to need to do in order to make that appeal work. As I said, the first thing you're going to do, you're going to call the admissions office and you're going to find out who you need to send a letter to the appeal letter. Remember, they're not happy about about the appeals process. They don't want to do it. First of all, they're incredibly busy just figuring out who else they're accepting and rejecting and going through all of that at this time of year. So you're going to have to be gracefully demanding and figure out who's working on your candidacy, so you send the letter to the right person. And then you have to write the letter. So what do you do in the letter? Well, you have to initiate a request for review, and then you have to make sure that you remind the school and you're clear that, hey, you're my number one choice. I know that seems obvious, but you have to say it. You've got to be very clear about it, because if they open up a space, or if there's a possibility that this is going to happen, the only way they're going to say yes to you and change their decision is if they know you are coming. Of course, you got to make sure the new information is in this letter. That is new test scores, or the new grades, or that major accomplishment. And this letter has to be grammatically perfect. The punctuation has to be perfect, because you're kind of displaying how you will be writing and working when you're in class at that school. All right. Number 3, you got to get your high school counselor on board. You got to get your guidance counselor officially on board, and he or she has to write an official letter that corroborates, that backs up all the things that you're saying. So they're on your side, they're your champion, and what you're talking about is official and it's true. So they're going to talk about the new information and the major accomplishment. And then finally, well, not finally, but the next thing you're going to do is the interview. You're going to get yourself to that campus. Even when they tell you, there's no interview, or we're too busy, don't call us, we're just too busy. I want you to go anyway. I want you to sit there and wait and wait and wait, and then get in there and speak to the person in charge, speak to the dean of admissions or the director of admissions, and convey your seriousness and your excitement and your academic energy. This is really important. And then make sure during the entire process that you're keeping your high school guidance counselor up to date and in the loop on everything, so he or she can continue to back up what you're saying and continue to go to bat for you and talk about whatever you may have discussed in that interview. Finally, if you really dig down deep into your heart and you're completely honest with yourself, let's face it, you might be doing this appeal because you're angry, right? We talked about that in the beginning. This might be because you really, really just feel just rejected and sad. I'm asking you to think about moving on to the next best option, to the next school, the one that really wants you. Go there. Be amazing at that school. And also, if you're amazing at that school, what you're doing is you're preparing yourself, you're getting those grades up, you're really proving how you operate in college, and then maybe next year you can transfer. So make sure you watch my transfer video. All you have to do is go to Forster-Thomas.com. My name is Evan Forster. I'm the co-founder of Forster-Thomas Educational and Career Consulting, and this time, in this one with the appeals, I'm telling it to you like it is.